Nacho's final buddies cut tyres exposed Meg induced Harry to sell his 2 horses, resulting in losses of almost $4 million. I've been investigating polo ponies. They're truly beautiful creatures, and if the internet is true, they cost roughly $190,000 a pop, and that's before you see the price for the hay. The Sussexes haven't exactly been enjoying an elegant life monetarily, especially since they went out and bought a $21 million mansion in a state only months after arriving in America, and have shown no sign of giving up their preference for private jet travel since then. Then there's Meghan's wardrobe, which debuted more than $121,000 worth of new pieces last year, and Harry's polo habit, and those 190,000 ponies. From not inviting Harry to his birthday party on March 4th to a sudden collaboration with Zara Tindall during a royal project last month, all of which are pointed knives towards the Sussexes in the current situation. It's believed that Harry, having spent so much on Meghan's beauty needs, Harry had no money left to pay for polo pony services that were very expensive, and Harry was also accused of not paying for tending and caring horses, and even stole 2 horses belonging to Nacho. The polo ponies cost around £200,000 apiece. I know people who pay that much for quarter horses to do much less than polo ponies do. And you need to have a few if you're competitive, 2 to 3 to use at the games, 2 to 3 that are usually recovering from previous games, and you need to have a few if you're competitive, 2 to 3. If you've ever approached them after they've played, you'll notice that the animals are typically struck slumbed with mullets, which causes injuries, and all the scrambling is hard on the legs, tendons, and so on, so you have frequent joint injections, farriers, chiropractors, cold water treatment, PRP, steroids, and acupuncture. So he probably has 5 to 6 horses to compete with, each of which costs at least $2,000 each month. For board and vet fees, probably more like $2,500 per horse per month. Don't forget insurance, which is easily $15,000 per month or $180,000 per year. They say the best way to make $1 million in horses is to start with $2 million. This confirms my guess that they'll wind up purchasing Coachella Valley real estate for McMansions akin to the Kardashians' Apollo construction recently purchased plots, and it's sort of the only way. They aren't fit for commercial product endorsements, because their brand is, and they're useless for actual jobs doing smart people things. They won't be able to afford the staff and upkeep and renovations from one site. Oh, for too long. In the end, I see a red-haired face on a brochure for newly built homes in a polo-centric community, and some sort of commissions King Charles accepting his son's phone calls pleading for money. Harry is not as wealthy as many imagine, and an insider told the publication that the late Queen was always glad to speak with Harry, but when he begged for money, she answered, "Why don't you speak to your father?" When the Queen asked Charles what he was doing about it because she was fielding so many calls, Harry informed her that Charles was no longer answering his calls. He informed her that "I am not a bank.